If you want to get more traffic to your MSP website or just show up higher in local search results, maybe even above your competitors, this video is for you. I'm going to take you through the entire process of doing some basic SEO to be able to start ranking significantly higher. And I'm going to go through a couple different areas that most people get tripped up on so you don't make the same mistakes most people do make. How are you guys? My name is Harrison Barron from growth-generators.com. We help MSPs grow, whether it's sales training, marketing, or even some business operations. Before I get into today's episode, I do have to mention just two quick things, right? Number one is go hang out with us in the Discord. I'm starting to do some more free trainings in there, just popping in every once in a while or doing live Q&As. If you've ever had a chance, or you've ever wanted to, I should say, ask me a question, come hang out in there. I'm going to be popping in there fairly frequently, and I'd love to hang out with you. It is available at growth-generators.com/Discord. And the second thing is down in the video description or the podcast description, if you're listening to the podcast, there are a ton of super helpful links. Not only the Discord link, but also our resources link where you can download literally tons of resources for your MSP. But if you go down, you could scroll all the way down and you may see a new version of the website. It is almost done. We're super close. We're finalizing a couple details, but there are so many free trainings and free classes that we've already made. Once again, growth-generators.com/resources. So first we have to figure out just one kind of thing, right? What is SEO for MSPs? Specifically, it is search engine optimization for your managed service provider. Now, I cannot tell you how many conversations I've already had where business owners are like, I just wish I had a couple more clients. I just wish I showed up higher on Google. I just wish I was beating my competitor, or I just got a little more business in this area. I just. Well, that officially ends here. And the first thing that you have to do, no matter what kind of business you are in, as far as MSPs, and when I say MSP business, I mean specifically, are you focusing on a niche? Are you focusing in a more general area? Are you focusing on maybe a small town or a small city you might be a part of? The first and foremost thing that you have to do is go set up a Google My Business. So if you go and search Google My Business or Google My Business profile, you'll actually see here, it'll either be business.google.com. You might also see like get listed on Google, get a Google business profile, any of that. You could simply sign in and you're going to do add your business to Google, and it's going to ask for a handful of prompts that are going to get you through this, right? My MSP, my MSP, technology. And we just want to go through that. Let's see. We'll just do technology park for now, right? Do you want to add a location for customers to visit, like a store or office? If you're working from home, obviously no. If you're working at an office or you already have an office location, yes. And then it's going to ask you write your business address, which is fine. And even if you select no, it's still going to ask you what areas you service, because maybe there is a service area. Now, don't worry. If you service all of the United States and you're very, very niche down, it's totally fine. But the first and foremost, you need to go set up your Google My Business, because this is kind of the first baby step into SEO. Now, search engine optimization. We want to get all of that free traffic into us, into our website, into our ecosystem, so then we can convert it to leads and hopefully sales. Now, the reason this is important is because this sends up a huge kind of beam of light, maybe a green flag to Google. It says, hey, by the way, we are a real company. We're a real business, and we took the time to go through your process. It also helps you get found in what is called a map pack. And I'm going to share with you guys what a map pack is. So if I do MSP near Charlotte, right, it's going to show me a bunch of different things. Or better yet, I should just do what a customer would say, IT company near Charlotte, and it's going to go through and show me these. Now, in here is where the map pack actually is. So we have built-in, Glassdoor, Indeed, Design Rush, whatever it is, right? Charlotte Network. And sometimes Google is going to show up good results, and sometimes it's not going to show up good results. But if we see here, we can actually begin to start seeing all of these other IT/MSP providers in the Charlotte area. This is called a map pack. Depending on the business or your location, it may show up higher in the search results. It might show up lower in the search results. And then you could see, right, we have Charlotte IT Solutions, AT Net Services, AOW Managed IT Services. And if I go through and search more businesses, now we've gone into Google Maps to begin to start to see where are all of these businesses fully located. And we get a big list of businesses. The first and most important thing that you could possibly do is set up that Google My Business account, because you can now start to show up in Google. Almost, I don't want to say immediately, because there is a verification process that Google does. Typically, they're going to mail you a piece of mail with a code on it. You go back in, you enter that code, and you're verified, and you're good to go. But that is the first and foremost thing. The second thing is, through this entire process, I cannot stress it enough, your business name, your address, your phone number, your email needs to remain the same across the board. The reason being is Google is looking to see if you're a legit company. If your phone number is different in one area versus another area, Google kind of gets these bad signals per se. And they say, you know what? Why are you not giving us the right information? Why are you putting different information all over the place? It sends up a red flag for them, which is ultimately going to lower your ability to show up on Google. Now, the third part of this that you want to do immediately is actually identify what you want to rank on Google for. What I've just showed you, setting up your Google My Business and being able to show up in a map pack or locally, is the first kind of steps. But we want to think about, what do we want to show up for when somebody types something in on Google? If we don't know what we want to show up for, we can't target it. We can't take specific measurable goals to rank higher in those areas. So if you were an MSP focusing on, I don't know, dental care in Florida, and you were like, hey, I'll service anybody for the most part in Florida. I'll deploy a team, whatever it may be, but we are specialists in the dental industry. We know all of the software, right? You might want to target or have a known keyword that says, hey, MSP or IT support Florida dental offices, some variation of that. And we really want to begin to think about what our dream customer is typing into Google. That you can go find, and if you're not 100% sure, I would highly recommend going down and checking out growth-generators.com/resources to go get your buyer persona template. It is really, really important to grab that, so that way you can begin to think, hey, I know what they are going to be asking. Now, the next part of SEO, and I'm going to be getting deeper and deeper through this process, is we need to think about, what are we ranking for? Are we trying to rank locally, or are we trying to rank for a niche? And those have varying different possibilities. If you're trying to rank locally, that means your local area, what I just showed you, right? And there's a lot of other steps that I'm going to be covering, and you're going to modify it more to your area versus a niche. So if you are a managed service provider in the dental industry, maybe you're servicing Florida for now, and you might want to branch out over time. You are going to be focusing heavily on keywords that would help benefit you in that niche specifically. And those keywords are really going to be anything that somebody's going to be searching on Google. Now, if you're not 100% sure and you already have customers, ask them, hey, how did you find us? What were you searching for before you found us? If they found you. If they didn't find you, and they ask them, if you were to do research and try to find one of our competitors or something like that, what would you type into Google? Believe it or not, another great resource is actually ChatGPT. You can ask ChatGPT whatever you want. And I'll open up a temporary little window here. But if you could say, hey, chat, right? Hey, chat, I am an MSP in Florida helping only dental offices. What are some of the keywords decision makers would type into Google to find us? Right? Obviously, disregard my spelling here, right? But general keywords. It's literally spitting out an entire list of keywords that you now need to know, hey, I need to go target all of these keywords across the board. Some of these are going to be dental IT services, dental IT consulting, dental office cybersecurity, dental software support, right? But there's also location-based ones. Dental IT services Florida, right? Florida Dental IT Solutions, managed IT services Tampa, dental IT providers in Miami, and so on and so forth, where you're focusing more of a local or location-based versus more of a broader range. And it's literally giving you these keywords. Now, I wouldn't run with these keywords right off the bat, but it's a really, really good starting point for the next part of what we need to do. After we've gone through and we've identified some of the areas that we want to focus on and some of the keywords, and we understand if we want to go for a more niche or for more of a location-based approach, the next thing that we have to do is tell Google, hey, come look at my website and start to go through it. I might want to show up for certain things, and we want to just kick that ball down the road and expedite the process. We need to go to Google Search Console. Now, Google Search Console is the back end of Google. And what I mean by that is Google has two main parts that most people use. You have Google Analytics, which shows you all of the traffic and how it's interacting with your website. And then you have Google Search Console. And Google Search Console shows you the organic side of Google. This is how people are actually landing on your website. Now, you may have already set this up, and I'm going to cover that a little bit in this video, but I'm going to assume most people haven't, and I promise, just bear with me. It takes 2 seconds to set this thing up. You want to go to Google Search Console. You could go type that in or go to search.google.com/search-Google, and it'll bring you there. Or just type in Google Search Console on Google. And you should see this screen. Once you hit Start Now, it's going to begin to prompt you. I will actually show you the process. If you go through, it should show you or look something like this. It'll say select property type. You're going to see the domain or URL prefix. In this case, we just want to focus on the domains, and we want to put our domain there. So I'll just throw in AOL.com, and it's obviously going to fail because I don't own AOL.com, but it'd be pretty cool if I did. So it's going to give us a text record. We're going to go through, slap that on our DNS records, and we're good to go. We hit verify. Hopefully we get the green light, and we're good. But it doesn't stop there. Once we actually get into Google Search Console, we're going to be presented with this bar on the left. We should see overview, URL inspection, search results, discover, pages, sitemaps, removals, and more. What we want to do is we want to go to sitemaps, and this is important to have. You should, depending on what website builder you use, have a sitemap. In this case, I'll use ours, growth-generators.com/sitemap.xml. And if you type it in, it just looks like some code. Now, if you see a couple of these where it says sitemap.xml, sitemap.xml, we're going to take each one of these and slap them inside of Google Search Console. Or if you want the easy way out, you type that in, you hit submit. Now, it's not going to give you historic information. When you start this is when we start the clock. So the sooner you can do this, hopefully you've been following along with this video and you're hitting that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. We now have submitted it to Google. We now tell Google, hey, we have a business that exists. And not only do we have a business that exists, we have a website to accompany it. We have a bunch of information. We want you to make sure that they index. And basically that indexing is just show us in the algorithm. We want to be known, and that's truly our goal. And that is the first step. Now, you can go through and you can actually play around with search results and discover and pages, but for the lack of this, I just want you to submit it. You will see a ton of information inside of search results, but for the most part, just submit it to Google, and you should see in a day or two, it'll say status success. If you see anything fail, you might have to do a little bit of an investigation there. But that is the core of the basics of SEO. So I'm not going to leave you there. Of course, I'm going to give you guys more and more value. Now, this next website I'm not associated with at all. I get no money from it, but it's a website that I truly love. If you go to Ubersuggest, it's written by or created by a gentleman named Neil Patel. And he has created a free tool that you can use to get started. Now, if you choose to buy one of them, great. Once again, I'm not affiliated with this company whatsoever. It's just a tool I use. And there's other ones too, SEMrush, Ahrefs. There's a bunch out there. For the lack of this, we're going super, super simple and free because I hate when people subscribe themselves to death. Once you get into Ubersuggest, you could go through and you should have a dashboard. The first thing that we're going to want to do is go to a site audit. Now, this site audit is going to tell you right off the rip all of the problems. Now, you probably remember that, hey, we put up our Google My Business and our Google Search Console up here. That's good. The thing is our Google Search Console, unless you're an experienced practitioner, is going to have a ton of problems. We have to address those problems. And the more problems we remove, more than likely the higher chance we have in ranking. Some problems are naturally going to exist, depending on what platform you're building the website on. For example, we build it on Wix. Wix has some issues with what they do. It's totally fine. WordPress has its own quirks. Squarespace has its own quirks. Shopify, I doubt anyone's on Shopify. High Level has its own quirks. Weebly has its own quirks. Every website builder has its own quirks. But we want to go through and we want to do a site audit. Now, in this case, it was site audited a couple days ago, which is great. And we can see all of our SEO issues. Now, in the free version, there are some things that it might limit you on what you can actually see. Paying for it is fairly cheap per month, but you could go through and start to see, okay, 15 pages have low word count. And it's telling me that these pages have low word count. In some of these, it might not even matter, right? So if we actually look at the growth generators /blog /categories /CRM, there's no posts that are showing up for that. That's totally fine, okay? There's just some quirks that we can't address, but we want to make sure that we're going through and eliminating as many of them as possible. There are a ton that you might actually see, and that's okay. There are tons of YouTube videos on how to fix all of the problems on your website. I promise you, if you just spend a little bit of time every single week moving in the right direction, you will have incredible results. But the more issues that we resolve, just like our ticketing system, the more satisfied our clients are, or in this case, Google is, which ultimately increases the amount of traffic that we're going to get. Now, I don't want to just leave you there, because if I did, you would have the very, very core basics of succeeding. But there's more to this than what we've done already. We kind of identified how to get some of our keywords. We've identified how to get on Google. We've identified how to set up our Google My Business. So what's actually next? The next part is probably the worst part. And if I had an editor, I would do that like dun, dun, dun thing, but I don't. So that my voice is going to just have to cut it for now. So we're going to jump in here, and I want to share with you guys some of the things that you're going to have to, unfortunately, bite the bullet on to go through and rank your website. Now, what happens is most companies have what are called thin websites, and I use air quotes for that. It means that there's not that much content on the actual website. Most websites don't have a blog, or if they do have a blog, there's only a handful of blog posts actually written. And in this case, we might realize that there is a ton of opportunity here to go through and create those. And just to give you an idea of how many blog posts we have, I'll show you my sitemap. And this is a list of every single blog we have ever written on our website. Now, some of these are getting removed in the very near future, and we're in the process of rebuilding our website, so I'm not necessarily too worried about the SEO issues that we currently have. We're in the process of already rebuilding it. It should be rolled out here in the next few weeks. But as you go through this, we want to make sure that we are adding blog posts that provide value to our customers, right? So in this case, we have Crushing It on YouTube, a step-by-step guide for MSPs. If you wanted to learn how to use YouTube effectively for your MSP, you could go through this. There's a whole video that accompanies this, but if you chose to read the entire thing, you can read the entire blog. We've taken the video and converted it into a blog post, so it reads extremely well, and if you wanted to watch the accompanying video, you could as well, with some few bonus tips scattered throughout there to truly make it an incredible experience. But what you want to do is you want to keep adding and adding and adding. based on those keywords that we've already discussed. If it's a local keyword, we want to talk about helping our local community, what we're doing in the local community, keywords and writing specifically for those keywords, and consistently trying to make our content better and better. As your website continues to grow, it adds more words. If you're just launching your website, you might have 1,000, 2,000, maybe even 3,000 words on it. And that's okay. And there's plenty of websites out there that'll count how much text you actually have. But we want to keep adding, we want to keep beefing up our website. And the easiest way to do that is with our blog. We, as the experts, want to consistently keep writing and keep writing and keep writing. So that way Google sees, okay, for every blog I write, it's between 1,000 and 2,000 keywords, or 2,000 words, I should say. I have approximately 200 and change blogs on my website. So when I first started, I might have only had 1,000 or 2,000 words on my entire website. Now, fast forward, even if every blog only has 1,000 words on it, that's still 2007, 2010 words across, 210,000 words on my website. Google has a really good idea of who we are, what we do, the services that we provide, the niche that we help, and the content on our website. And they say, hey, growth generators, you guys are doing a really good job. Take a moment to hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell, because that's what Google would want you to do anyway. But now we're building all that content on and on and on, and Google has something to sink their teeth into. And as people are searching, now we have the opportunity to have additional pages rank in our website. It also provides value to your readers and the potential for backlinks, and I'll get into that down the road. But there is truly so much that goes into search engine optimization. I would literally have to, I have an SEO course. It's like 20 something hours long to learn the ins and outs of SEO. But this is the most basic. You should do this today to truly start winning on Google. And I'm going to come up with more advanced videos for you guys if you guys would choose to check it out. But it takes time. Everything that you do in SEO is going to take between 3 months and 9 months to see results. So as you progressively do it, you are increasing your value approximately 6 to 9 months down the road. And by compounding that and adding, even if you want to write a little bit and add 1 blog per month, figure out that if you write 1 blog per month, that's 12 blogs per year. That's really not that many. But fast forward 3, 4, 5 years from now, that's way more than your competitors are probably ever going to have. Does it take time? Yes. Does it take work? Yes. But I promise you, it is worth it. It's worth getting that traffic. It's worth getting that notoriety. It's worth showing up higher on Google. Google will reward you, and you will get more marketing leads, which will turn into sales leads, which will turn into customers. I hope you guys found value in this video. It's a bit of a long one. I apologize, but it is a topic that I am super passionate about. And if I go any deeper, we're going to be on this YouTube video for quite a while. But you have some intense actions to start right now as this video ends. Once again, like button, subscribe button, notification bell. If you think I missed something, if you want me to add more, if you want to know more, leave a comment down below. Check out the links down below, including our masterclass. I love the heck out of you guys as always, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Till then.